Hello, everybody. Today's the 30th of April, and welcome to yet another market brief. You've noticed that the past few days there were not really any videos or updates because, it wasn't necessary. Sometimes things go to plan, and then you don't need an update, right? That's good. We can save all time and not talk about the same stuff and get bored about it. But today, I think it's again uh, mandatory to catch up a little bit, just to talk about the developments that happened and how it can now go on continue. So let's go with Ethereum. Expected a top at this level. Now we have this declined. We have a lower high and then now a new lower low. Notice how the breakdown is not really anything that you want to see if you are a bear, because it's a very feeble breakdown. So in that sense, there is a bit of work to do for the bears, but definitely they are on the, I would say, finishing line of making this move possible to the downside. So what should we see? I think we should see a consolidation that could be like this, where it just goes sideways and forms another micro pennant as this one, and then we can get a new channeling move down. Or we go again above this high to test and just form a bigger pennant like this, and then we come down. So that is also possible. So expect volatility. Yesterday's decline was more or less news driven due to FOMC and other earnings that happened. In that sense, I don't trust the breakdown this much at the moment. But let's see. Let's see if we get something more serious out of that. Then Bitcoin, similarly to Ethereum, the breakdown, while it's real, while it's there, it's very violent. It still isn't enough for me to say, yes, we are on the verge. I'm expecting that, but we have to still respect price, right? So we've got to be nimble with price action and see if it goes up or not. And so far, really good breakdown, really good back test of it. This should be just a smaller test again, could be lower and then up again before we move. So this type of structure can still build. So there is more work to do for bears here as well. Moving on to silver. Silver, magnificent breakdown. We were expecting this to cycle into the range lows here. So far, you can see we are at support. Okay, so this is a very big line for us because it could mark the 50% level of a larger range. Now, this was the very violent high, and what you usually tend to make is pennants. And so far, we have not really seen that. We have seen a downward bias channel. So it is possible that we get this, but we don't have to right now. There is the devil in the detail, because this is all we have to do. So we already achieved the target or the minimum target for that, because every other rally stopped here. The question is this gonna form into more something sinister? And so far, I'm a bit unsure. Okay, I'm not sure yet. The breakdown is there. The move to the upside leaves a lot to be desired for. So I would say, while downside momentum here is lackluster, it would need a bit of a rally to really convince us that this is going down. So yeah, just be mindful of that. I took a short from here. So far, the trade profile looks like that. It's actually a very good trade here. The question is only, and this is something that I haven't really made my mind up yet, is that am I just gonna endure this and then come again? Still haven't really thought about it. I'm willing to hold the short, but this is like going for the extra mile, right? We don't really use it to go for the extra mile because they are less likely to happen. So it is possible that the take profits here would play out better than just trying to hold through that. So I'm probably going to make my mind up today. I'm leaning towards taking profits. but I want to see the market open and how this market behaves. So far, on the volumes, you don't really have anything that you can work with because it's very low. But it's on the declining end, so you can see it's not really going. This looks a little bit it's a bit climatic. So maybe one more down and then it's done. On the dailies, you can see we're not getting any stronger bars here. This was much more strong, but also not great. So yeah, it's very compacted. Something that I don't appreciate if I'm a bear, especially. Okay, then oil. Well, yeah, I mean, going to plan. This is now again at the highs. I think this rally is of a much better quality than this rally. And downside, I think there will be a test lower. So I think we're going to get lower prices at some point as well for consolidation. But a breakout here, especially if we go like this, and then you test this, what you had supposed to test here. This is also possible. So far, I'm more inclined to believe that because oil doesn't really leave you time usually. Okay, here you see it didn't really leave you any time to get in, so it's possible that we push for further like this. And yeah, that's about oil again, about 107. Today is going to be very interesting in Germany because here the I would say the gas stations, they are only allowed to hike prices at 12 o'clock. And yesterday was very high in that sense. Today, there's going to be a new record because look at this. This is gasoline. You're at all-time highs. Okay, we're already halfway to the projection point in the short term. There was the projection point just from this consolidation with this flagging nature, but we haven't really looked at the bigger picture. And if you consider the bigger picture, this could go to $20 easily. Question is, will it do it? And so far, I have nothing bearish. Okay, so for me, it's a very uncomfortable situation because essentially this is a market. But if this goes up, it's going to create bad times for everybody. So I don't want it to go up, right? And for me, it's getting more and more difficult to like try to speculate on what's going to happen because you kind of have to be a doom caller, and I don't like to be that. I don't like to be the Cassandra, but so far this is all Cassandra that I see. So I apologize for that. I'll try to be as optimistic as I can, and I want to lean more bullish, but there's nothing here that gives me a reason to be bullish. Outcomes for people, right? It's bullish oil. Bullish oil means bad times. Okay, and that's where we are. That's where we are. Okay, and then S&P. So really weak still. The drawdown was violent enough for me to be convinced that this is not going to recover anymore. I mean, it's at all-time highs. Don't get me wrong. What I mean by that is that we are definitely on borrowed time here, and there is not much there that supports a higher view. So, as I said, boys and girls, this is probably it. Then we go to the Nasdaq. Here you see that left translated cycle, big, large push down. Where did we have it? In Bitcoin's top. So here again, topping behavior at the top side of the channel. You can see bad things happen at the channel top. Why would it be different this time? Right? Why would it be different? Yeah, that's about that. Okay, let's go to gold. Almost at targets. We're at the range lows, so a lot of things can happen here. The rally, I'm not convinced of it, especially the way it's taking off. It looks like a climax to me. Yeah. So that's the thing. Otherwise, oil. I mean Euro USD. Apologies. Yeah, down still. Yep. There's not much positive to say. It's so hard for me. It's so difficult. Okay. All right. Then let's go to Tuesday's stocks. Oh, I think they did them already, right? No, week two. Week two. Sorry. There we go. So CVS, insurance. It absolutely makes no sense that this is going up because insurance are at risk. So we're gonna have to see if this is like a range that is currently showing lots of weakness. So far, we had a lower low. I don't like the way this base forms. This base looks much better. It could be also the halfway point of this range. So if I take this, does it really make it better? Not really, right? But if I drag it down, you have a perfect half-half, right? So that could be the mid-range. So if it's a mid-range, there's only two ways this could go. Go up, maybe make a high here, come down, or try to break. So far, I have no opinion on this one. I just, yeah, it's very difficult because this is getting more aggressive down. So I'm not convinced that this is going to simply keep on going. I'm more of the part where this looks like a butterfly harmonic. So you have the A, B, C, D, and then E, right? That would be that. So it doesn't look great. Doesn't look great. MasterCard, on the daily, you can see lots of signs of weakness. The push to the downside is much like the S&P. It doesn't really have the strength to go down lower. But now, if the bulls fail, which I think they will, you will create a bigger reason to go down. Okay, so much like that. It's very ugly, as you can see. It's not great. And financial companies, especially when the economy is distressed, the economy is going down. Where the hell is the growth going to come, right? Where the hell is the interest going to come? So fundamentally speaking, as well, I don't really see good times ahead for Mastercard. Merck and Company with a macro lower high that is a disastrous sign, because this would mean that this is the point where we want to attack, right? So, I mean, you can still go up in an exhaustive fashion, but then you're going to come down like that. Okay. So, there is a big potential double top forming here. So, yeah, a big double top potentially forming in that sense. Yeah, be careful here as well. See, there is not a lot of stocks you can invest in at the moment. And then we have McDonald's. It's just what can I say? You look the way this is going up, and then it crashes. Just think of this move similarly to that, but with much less momentum, as you can see. So whatever we're gonna get, it's gonna be bigger than that. So if you just copy that, this could be how it looks like. Okay, this is not strong. So I'm a believer that this is gonna half. Yeah, more than half maybe. 70% is a bit much. Yeah, basically that. But still, again, this is everything's possible in the market, right? It's just not a point where you would invest. It's annoying. It's annoying. So it's a perfect time to learn how to make money on the downside, right? That's what I recommend. The times that we're going to face, they're not going to be easy. They're not going to be nice to us. So the earlier you learn how you make money on the downside, the better it's gonna be for you. Okay, so that's what my opinion is at the moment. All right, then Nextera Energy. We are at the range highs, and you see it's currently testing it, and that's a positive. But the way it failed here is something that I don't appreciate. So we might just do that and then break up again. That's possible. That's what I would like to see. But it is also possible that we come back down into the range. And we don't want to come down below in this range here. Okay, we don't want to do that because bad things are going to happen if you break down. Okay, so that is something that I would foresee. If it fails, it should go back down to 60, attack all of these lows here, and that, as you can see, is the midpoint of this range, where it would make sense, where I would just test back the midpoint. Pfizer. I was expecting a low. At this point, around September, we kind of turned bullish. But you don't have any reasons for this one. So if you are long since September, it doesn't look good at all. At all. So we could do that and go up again and then could come down again. Okay? Doesn't look good. You can see it might be a double top here, forming to the 2009 lows. It's very possible. And then Netflix. Well, what do you want me to say? This trend is over. It wasn't a magnificent trend, but all things come to an end. And so far we are attempting to form a high. The question is, how are we going to form it? I think we're going to test it and then come up and then go back into this range. Okay? So that's how I envision this one. So there is a good trade in here. Like if it comes down to range lows here, you can capture this upside. It's probably going to test the high, so we're close to it. So that's going to be a good trade. But other than that, you want to be short. Well, I think that's the most reasonable thing to do here. Okay, then AT&T, magnificent rally since the lows. Did it really come to a surprise that it kind of stops right where the other high stops? So this is where we are currently. I like the way it rallied. It just doesn't float my boat just yet, because it could have attacked these highs. Why did it not do it? It just stopped just in front of them. So that's a negative. Other than that, if it can form a higher low, that becomes investable, right? So I want to see a higher low for me to get involved in here. Then we have something of quality. BMY looks better. Looks one of the the best charts actually that we reviewed today. The question is only, is it gonna break out or not? Because we're in this range. And so far, that is a great range to be in, right? You're not testing the lows and highs of 2000 like in other stocks. You are at an elevated level, and this could be consolidation just under resistance. What we want to see is, though, that it has strength. So a third higher low, followed by a hinge formation maybe, that pushes up. That would be a great long to push for higher. Qualcomm, it's at all-time highs. But the way this is materializing is something that I don't appreciate. We have a lower high, so we could be forming a high top to come back down like this. Okay, I think this trend is also over. You can see the exhaustion here. This is much stronger. This is very weak. Half cycle high, half cycle low, cycle high. That would, in that case, it's a huge cycle high. Qualcomm also is kind of the underperformer of the entire cycle. Like it went up, but other things went up more. So why did it not go up more, right? So that's where we are. That's where we are. Until tomorrow. Bye-bye.